Hello, hello, hello. So I just finished this new track. It's the newest in the series of the Elite Racing Championship, which most tracks are on the airport. There's not so much of an airport left here, so I'm just gonna do a quick run by of the 200 props. So I started out with this center complex here, Race Inn Hotel Complex. Start here. And then I work my way up to the curvy parts. Tried staying away from the ending here. So I covered the open streets with panels. Kept it all in the green and yellow, like the borders of the airport. Which makes it easy to make it a whole. So this came later here, this outside. Got a double layered upside down race props here. The yellow line is a same prop as the green one, but it's a separate prop. Just to give the outline here of the turn. So that's 4 props. Tribune, the bleachers came later here. So I covered up all the open roads. Simulate a bit of grass maybe. If I make it actually green. It's even better. To show the tire marks. Just leave it. Maybe make it gray. Well, that makes more sense. Looks like it belongs to the complex more. Love that pool. So I use the upside down race props to bound it all. Keep it open, because if you place a high wall here, it gives a total different feeling than if you keep it open. So people are not supposed to drive here, but if anything happens, they can always just slide over here without crashing into the immediate wall. This is kind of a tunnel for the pedestrians. I extended the complex here with a tunnel bridge to the other area, conference area, so big movie theater there. And I tried to get some more brake turns in. Sharp hairpin left there. See, I use one panel to block off the whole thing here, which serves on 2 sides. That is prop economics. Got a nice wall here, blending in the theme, incorporating to the hotel, like you got a little entrance here. The wall serves as the outside. So you take the hairpin right, you can scratch the wall. Here on the outside it's open again. Left open the yellow markers from the actual airport. Soft left, soft right. A lot of speed here. Very open, a lot of room for spins and crashes. Bounded off by a wall because here is another track. Car should not be able to spin off and hit the other ones here. Well, that's okay. Here's a natural boundary, natural apex. Cut it a little bit more. You can see the checkpoint's pretty close. You can cut it a little bit more. And I allow it because if the dirt is actually higher. So if you drive on it, or will bend a bit, especially at high speed. High speed, you will lose control if you're turning. Again, the yellow and green prop upside down here, out, signifying the outside. Got a natural fence here, which I used as a protection for the bleachers. So the bleachers, the placement of the bleachers is actually specially constructed behind the fence to give it that extra feeling of reality. A little inside wall here goes to the outside, protecting the people here. These ammunition signs pointing the direction of the turn. They signify the turn from ferry 4, so it's a long straight. Some high props, you can see them from far. Here we got some extra bleachers, like a little bit of VIP lounge, lows. Little wall here, protection from the spectators. Little VIP area here. Got the nice green walls to light it up a bit. Changing colors on the interior lights. Yellow, white here in the staircase. The big room is white. And here the people can stand on top of here, like also search for a wall. Come outside here, you see, may able to hit it. Short left, big open right-hander here. So the upside down prop. Could have gone with a yellow line on at the bottom here, but I was just preferring the barrier here. So the lifted barrier gives you the extra visibility. Once you're here, the camera sees the wall, and you already know that there's wall there. And secondary, you will see the checkpoint, and you will focus on the point where you have to cut it. Got some curbs on the outside of many turns. I do see that there's a little gap here for cars that are coming from this side, spinning out, maybe hitting these. Not sure if it's big problem. Cars come here, cut here, cut here. So this is the zone actually where it needs to be safe. So pull the line from the apex, just like that. I don't think it needs an extra prop. Let's just do a quick test. I don't think it's gonna work out. Crashes always happen when the effect is always into the height. So there's still a lot of room. Not bad. Very open white section here. Come out wide, cut back on the right here. Big yellow line. Use the big prop, it's only one prop. So give the yellow line on the side. That's just big enough to cover this area. What I did, you see, is the prop is actually too wide. So I just rotate it. So the left side only would stick up. And bury the rest. Big yellow part here signifying the outside of the turn. Running over to the yellow line of the prop. Earlier place for this turn. So it's not nicely looking that it's like straight here. I'd rather have it curved along with the turn. Takes a lot more props. You see the curves running out here, signifying the apex. It's all double and triple usement of the same prop. I did choose to use the natural floor here instead of raising the race prop. So you had a race tummy. Just to keep it the same style. Again, yellow bounce off here and bounce off here. It's a single prop. So it's exactly the perfect size. It's not that I have the perfect size in the prop and that it just like works out lucky. It's just that I made this chicane after I placed this prop. And I just took that distance for this chicane to be dropped. And then I closed it off on the other side with that one. To just give it that more edge. It's a fast chicane, so it's pretty open. But I just needed to swap lanes. I'll go into that in a bit. Got the wall here serving on two sides. Again, the curbs. The curbs are just a straight race piece. Just tilted a little bit, so only the right side sticks out. Got a nice sprung sign, the same color. These are actually the pylons, the inflatable gates. Turn them upside down and get a nice sign. Just matches the size of this piece of dirt. Got the yellow lines here, signifying that it's better that you take a white. I'll just demonstrate it for a second. So right here. It's easy to cut in. The cut was a bit short. So cut it, if you come up from there, you cut it right here, you're gonna come out too fast and too outside on this turn. So you come from here, go wide. That's where the yellow thing can signify. So I'm actually going to use this corner as an apex visually. You can cut in here and then it's back to the yellow apex, extra apex. I lined this up with the yellow dots, you can see that. Just letting the natural environment tell me which props to place on where. So this is an upside down turn. I filled it up with a little other one here. They make the curve. As you see, it's not a perfect curve. It's not easy to get that triangular shape from a prop, so you have to sink it and rotate it a bit so it kind of forms a triangular shape that's sticking out. Use the extra panels here. Just rotate them a bit, get that extra curve feeling. This one's pretty flat because I want it to be able to cut it pretty high. If they cut it on the fluorescent yellow here, that's too high, they hit the fence. So what's actually good is that they cut it here. If they cut it here, it's already safety. Here you're already going too dangerous, and there's a very tiny lift which will lift up your rear wheel, and if you are turning, you will spin out. So got that margin there. There's a very wide margin for our yellow line, signified by another yellow line, a natural line here. Just place it behind it, so we get that double the double entendre, like I said. This panel is just it's a big panel. You rotate it, and then you just place it angular, this angle along parallel to the yellow line here. And then you just rotate it, and it forms a triangular cut here. And a nice override with the straight prop here. That's all. So this closes it all off visually. Also, if you come here and you drive here, you see the cars coming here. So your brain already knows that you're gonna make a curve like that. So your brain already knows you're gonna end up over there. And that all helps with the recollection of the track. And the brain is actually memorizing it. Got a locked off barrier here because here is another track. Here can't have the cars blow over to here. But because the cut is pretty wide, it's not bad that you just close it off instead of giving it more. It's got some extra green space that signifies an absolute ending. Again here, using the natural green as the outside, following into the green, upside down props. Would have liked to make a yellow line here again. Not enough props for that. Or I have to demolish some buildings. Ammunition signs in the same. So you got the angular pointings to the right. I might rotate this a bit more. So the reason why I did that is that it was hooked a little bit more like straight here. can say just make it parallel to the track. But the more it's open, the easier you see it if you come from the apex here. So it already says, look that way. And that's what your brain will do. So you always gotta make sure if you don't connect them, even if you connect them with the front sign is in front of the other one. So if they slip, bounce against the sign, don't go through, they can still grind this, and then grind that, grind whatever they want, but they won't hit this pole normally. I'll demonstrate it quickly. If I put this one backwards, you're gonna hit this post. This is also is for extreme cases of crashes and spins. So you're way too wide here, so that's how far you gotta think. Again, a little short, too wide block. It's got not a lot of elevation to it. A little bit more than the other one here though. Because here you get the protection wall right away, you can make it a little bit more risky. I'll demonstrate it. If you cut it on the apex, the actual apex is here, but the apex is here, the physical apex. Yet, if I cut it here, it's a little jump item. What is the experience? Try it, it does, it has no problem with it. If you do it like this, you see, and the car spins out. You just go full throttle, get out of the turn, you just steer while throttling. See that? That's exactly what you should do as a driver is just cut off throttle for a second. Okay, and then we go. Go off throttle and recover and then spin out. And also what's possible is that you just come at full speed. Just keep turning and do this. That way you will keep the speed and you will keep throttling whilst accelerating out of the turn. So this is extra margin. The driver decides what he's gonna do. Mostly when he wants to drive safe in front of positions, drive here. When he wants to attack, he's gonna take more risks. Get off that throttle to catch the slipstream, stay on the slipstream. The other guy takes it here, he can cut it, get off throttle, but still remain the same speed because he's in the slipstream of the one in front. So it's a lot of information for a stupid prop like that. That's how it works. And we go into the other side like I have here. Nice green line with the wall, so the wall serves both sides. The prop is actually the race prop upside down. I got the wrong one, but it's the same one. It's the same prop here. See? So it's narrower than the original prop, so what you just do is rotate it a bit so the actual other side is going on the ground here. So then you get the exact white width that you want to use. So the wall is nice, almost in the middle, gives it that extra space here. So this is the track is signified by the finishing lines here. So I don't need an extra curb here. It's just the lines, the finish lines gives the boundary. A little extra room here. If few inches before the wall. I could have placed, or I wanted to place green upside down prop like this one. So you get that little feeling that there's a little border in between the wall and the actual finishing stripes, the white stripe, which bounds the track, official track. You get a natural street here again. So the finish lines are gone. Switch to a yellow. This is upside down panel too. So this panel was not long enough to cover till there. So what I used it here. I think I started here. So I made this corner from the yellow dot line, signifying this natural point here where the dot line crosses the yellow full line. Then I place the turn props. Then I place this one. And then we go further to this one here. So that just matches up at the end. These two were placed, so I can just choose. I have to fill this up. So I chose to make it yellow, which signifies that there's going to be a dangerous or cuttable, highly cuttable corner. So the wall is actually a big plate. I had a sign before, but I erased that. It's a big wall. It ends up with 5 white prop block. Just rotate it in the same. It's 90 degrees towards the ground. And then it's tilted in its length axle. So you can cut it here. And if you even hit it early on, you're still not going to be in that much trouble. Trouble is here. But because it's so long and tilted, you can use like a big part of it to cut it in emergencies, because no one's going to do that. Everyone is going to make sure they stay on the floor. And just cut it here over the yellow part. So because it's such an open chicane, I just decided to make one checkpoint. You can't get to the checkpoint without getting on the other side of the wall here, but that's you have to go back into the direction. So you come from here, and you'll see it in the distance. It will pop up. What you also see is the ammunition sign pointing to the right. Extra yellow marker on the floor here, which is close visibility. So you see the ammunition sign, and then you see the checkpoint. Your brain knows what's going on, and you see this yellow thing, you know it's going to be cuttable here. You see there's no wall here, and so it's yellow upon yellow, and the green apex here, the extra poles to signify the extra space. So the little safety space here. So if I place the pole on the actual corner here of the yellow, pole's gonna be gone right away. So place it a little bit more here, telling the driver that he can still cut this one here, but it's gonna be dangerous. So ideal is just cut here, or the maximum safety is here. Same here. People are probably gonna cut the pole. If I place it here or here, it would just disappear first lap. Now place it, I gave it a little bit more apex room here, apex safety room, which makes certain that your brain sees this corner but the driver sees this pole. So your brain says, okay, this is the turn here. You're gonna have to cut it there. Your ego probably overrides it and says, no, we can do better than that. We can cut it next to the pole. And if your ego is too big, it will say, we can cut the pole and cut right next to the ammunition side. And then you're in trouble. So fast you can ride. A little curb I put in here. There's 2 reasons or more, 3 reasons for that. Because it was actually just a green outside. You see this one lines up with this one. And this is a extra long one. Upside down, tilted a bit. And that's because I used a big turn here. So this block was as wide as the actual street here. And you can see it now because I covered the sides up, but you see here the yellow thing, and here the white line. Those were the outsides. And this prop was like exactly the width of that street here. So that's why I used this prop to go left here. I never had a raised one in between the buildings. Now at first I didn't want to do it because my intention was to go straight here around the tribune, the bleachers, go back over there, even maybe to take the track all the way there, but a lot of the ERC tracks already do that. And what happened was that the bleachers here were actually blocking a bit of the turn I could make here. A bit later I doubted again and was thinking about making this a tunnel. I'd have to drive under the bleachers, it would be cool too. But I like this open area, people can go underneath it just to get to the other side. It's like, get that little feeling, there's maybe like a few restaurants under there or something, I don't know. So it was too hard with the lifted dirt here. There's like, you see the red and white box, so it just blocks off the whole thing. So you get that garage feeling here. A little open spot where people can just hang out. So I decided to go this way anyway. I tried a few props out to see how it would look. I didn't make it too hard on myself, and I just kept the wide prop going, because if I want to change from wide to small, I'm gonna end up with props like that. This one, you can see it's under the floor now, but see this track to wide piece here. So if you want to go from wide to small, it's going to be a lot of trouble again. Seeing that I have to go up here to get over the fence of the actual airport here, the fences. I had to go up, so I was like, I just turned this prop a bit in angle. The next prop a bit more in angle, because this is the short wide piece, you see. And that actually smoothens the transition. Just kept this going. What I did was, so this was not here. This prop that I'm carrying, that was over there, was placed afterwards. So if once I knew that I go in between the buildings here, I placed a flat one here. Aha, this is not a wide short piece, it's a wide slope jump kind of thing. So I'm gonna show it again. This part, this was economical, so if I have to use the smaller parts I would have used 3 or 4. So this saves in prop, and it already has the angle going where it goes up. So I actually sang that in. I think I rotated a bit so it got a little bit flatter than this. And what the prop that I just had was to fill up the in between there to even it out. Can keep it nice. The curves like the white lines show us lining up. So that prop, and then I placed this turn here, which actually the slope goes down again. So there's like a little curve on the prop. So this prop needed to go on top of that without the curve showing up. So I'm gonna show it again. So on the left you see the curve where the prop goes straight again. And so the outside turn here, this prop is exactly angled as the middle piece of the slope prop. So exactly lines, so maybe a little bit more curved so it lines up easily with the flat piece of the big prop. So these are two props which cover a big distance. If I want to do small parts or the wide track piece, rhythm track piece, I need a lot more props. So I did use them here though for the magnetic ease. So it's just a choice you make. You save props here, you ruin the props again there, but that's just how it goes. Here was the importance was to ease it up and magnetically just make the whole straight and go down again with the same props, because I was not running out yet, but I was like going into the 130s or something, and I still had to finish the other side of the track or get back around to get back to the start. So I try to keep it very economical here. No boundaries, there's no wall. There's a big room for error on the outside here. And because it goes up, it's not gonna happen very quickly that you spin out and fly off. Of course, it probably gonna happen. If it happens a lot, I will just put a wall there. I think it might need a white wall here. I think one prop will do though. The width on the left side here is enough. If you use the raised props, your curb is going to be higher because it has no outside. For instance, you can see these track props, these ones, their curb is softer on the edge here because the outside is lifted a bit. Now here, this prop doesn't have a side, so the edge is just the edge. By using those, most drivers should know that the curves are more dangerous and that they're lifted more. So curb boosting is very dangerous on these curves. And this means that people are gonna stay within bounds pretty quickly. Meaning they're not gonna look for edges here to get back. This pole is not really in danger. See, it goes pretty high. Still a smooth transition because I brought the panel up so much. And brought the panel up, try to get the maximum out of it just to make it as smooth as possible. So I'm gonna demonstrate that the inside on the left is not a problem. And you get a cut, you get a big curve going there, so if you cut that, the car will fly. That's all placement without like testing. That's all without reasoning. See, oh, there's a big bump here. High speeds is going to be problematic. And this is an easy, cheap prop, protecting you from drivers from the view. Still hittable, but there's like a little margin. You got that jump thing going there. And because it's lifted, and people kind of come from the outside to the inside to the outside, there's not going to be a lot of problems. Cut it in here, high speed, you're going to come here, instant left, instant right. So there's actually no time to go wide on the left. Or if it happens, you're already going to be here in this spot. So racing line goes out, in, out, and back to out there, to cut in here again, maybe stay low. This way I could keep it pretty open. The only thing I wanted to do was place a wall here. I decided to go for the tube. I couldn't let it open because of this part, these electrical cables. If you hit them, if you scratch the wall with your lip and you hit the cable, you die, you just stop right instantly. So I give this little margin 45-degree prop, which is a sunken tube. Just pop it up a bit, it's a rotated tube. It's a 15, the corner 15, so it's slightly bended, which means it's gonna drop below the floor here and here if I just balance it. So what it does, if you're actually too wide, you're gonna get hit and you can still get back, slow or fast. If you're really too fast and you're just not braking at all, there's no stop. See what the car does? It bounces you off and it just flies back on the track. So if I would have placed a wall, would have been good too. Then it would have just come to a dead end here. And I decided to go with the more natural flow of the tube. Which lines up nice to the ammunition sign placed earlier. It's not the right direction pointing, but those were cheap props to lock this area off. It's just kind of more of this is like where they weigh the cars after the race or something. It's a private area. Can't go in between here. Can't go through the sign, but that's action. People love that. Or a few casualties, don't mind. So then we go very open, signified by the two lights here at night. Can use a wall here, but again, I'm gonna demonstrate how hard it is to actually spin out on a banked section like that. So even if they spin out, the gravity is just going to hold it. Gravity is fake. See, it's even hard to get to the top because your car will just decelerate very quickly. I try to keep the angle as low as possible with the wide prop, just so it's not like you're driving up the wall. So this is like 25 degrees or something. It does slow down a lot. Spinning will just stop you instantly. Crashing, however, if your car starts flipping, no one can predict that. Might even place a wall, if cars will still flip over it. So I see you got the double checkpoints. I place them close to the border, because I know people will try to cut it. Always remember 2 wheels off the track as a violation. So I think you will still be able to get it here, because there's a bit of disadvantage of getting off and on the track again, especially for fast cars. But I want to give it that extra safety. I think cars that will just come here at high speed will have the advantage. Same over here. For double checkpoints, always try to, if functional, try to place the secondary checkpoint behind the first one, so you don't get a cacophony of yellow dots across the whole thing. If people miss it inside, track violation. Have to get back. Spin, crash or not. People miss it outside, can still get back here, catch it. And if you go here and just drive here, it's total flagrancy. So then we get back on the tracks here. So again, the economical way here. We got one prop here, one prop in the turn. These are actual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those, which is pretty expensive. That's a lot. But the rest is pretty economical. It's pretty easy and poorly made. Poorly. Cheap. Not a lot of props. So you got one panel here, one panel here. So I start with this panel, get it in the same angle as the turn, give it that extra width here, spin out. I wasn't looking at where it would end or nothing, that I would just wanted to give it the extra room here, and on the left too here. So I just tried to judge to come out with an even outside here, like keep this yellow line somewhat in the middle of this area here. So if, for instance, if the yellow line would have been here, the other prop would have ended up here, so that was, we would have had to adjust that and all that. So according to the width of these tracks, which I lined up behind this landing strip thing here, because the bleachers are placed here, got that little walking area, and I wanted the track to go over the dirt here, get the lights on the left and the right, a little building outside, looks like maintenance buildings here for the track and shit. People that work on the track, marshals. So the end of this is decided by where this straight is gonna be. Now, again, I was running out of props. Meaning over 60%. So I knew I had to get back very economically and very fast to to that point where the actual star grid starts here, this one. Because when I made this one, the rest of the track here, I closed it off here, made the bleachers, then I was automatically sure that this turn has to be a hairpin right-hander. This way your bleachers close off the track too. You can see the bleachers from forward ammunition signs, so this closes all off to these both turns, which makes it more economical. So I knew I had like props placed here. I wanted to make like a chicane here and go here and go back here. But because I was running out of props over there, I knew I was gonna have to be very economical in the last props, which probably meant I was have to use this straight all the way and just make one turn here. And that's exactly what I did, and I just had a few props left to finish the whole thing off. So when I was here, I knew that this straight just has to be a straight here, corner there, straight there, back to the start. So once I knew that, I looked to so this was not there yet. This was not there yet. Only this was there. Like the turn was there. So then I decided I go back to the small prop, to the track props with the barriers. Because I had to lift the track to raise over the red things here. You can see they're still under there, the red poles. So I had to lift the track right above the red poles. So if I wanted to lift it, I had to either make two sides of the track, which mean extra props. So that's why it shows for the race tracks with the barrier zone. That's cool. So what I did was I placed one, got the height right, and then just came on top of the red ones that they were not sticking through the. And then I moved it over, and I got it in the same angle as this widening prop, which is a smallening prop now. So I just placed this one first, and then I could line it up here, keep it somewhat parallel to the airstrip here. Then I knew I had a straight line. So I just placed the big piece here. See, it's the largest piece you can get. That lines up. And then you have I like this. Oh wait. I think I lined it up with the smallest piece here. And then I placed the long one on top just to smoothen it out a bit. I think it can be even smoother because see here is a little bumpy. Might as well do that now. Did it have to do with the green ground panel? I don't know. It's popping up there. See. The more I rise it, the more distance you're gonna have between the ground panel here. Already line it up. So you see it's not lining up here, it's lining up there. Also not correctly, which means I need more rotation. Just a little tap. Check all corners, like where the white lines will line up here, here, and over there. Just gonna have to move it up a bit. The lines are not actually lining up. So now it's lined up perfectly. Now I can check the rotation and just do whatever I want with it. So you see the angle change here, so this is pretty smooth. Less smooth, less smooth, less smooth. So you see that this is already a big corner. This is what it was at. That's what it was at. That's even more. So I'm gonna reduce it. Trying to get that. I'm gonna lift it. Just check it doesn't become too high here. I lowered it to the start of the next prop, as you see is here. So get a nice override. This bump is a little bit more smooth. Just gonna leave it like that. I don't like these barriers here. Now that I lift it, it becomes dangerous. Can't get back on here. So I actually need a prop here that blocks this off. I think it's pretty important for if people, even if it's such a wide turn, here they can still get on. I might just leave it and see what happens at first. So, okay, made this straight. I put a small one in between here, because what I tried to figure out where I had to place the turn. So what I did was I checked out where I had to place this straight. Now I should have done it instantly here, but because the track piece is as wide as the distance between the yellow line here and the finishing line here, I thought the transition would be smoother here. I might even delete that, probably, I don't know. That gives it extra. So I just lined this up, and then I placed this turn here, measured it up. I saw that like I already placed these two long ones, which are just magnetically hooked, and then I saw that I just need a little bit of extra, and this prop was right long enough. Then comes a big turn, which gives a 90-degree turn to the straight, which means I can just easily hook this one up. This is a track down, 5 degrees, just keep it very smooth, the downhill, which means I don't need a lot of props to smoothen it out here. Just needed one, I guess. So you got one prop here to smoothen the angle, and then one prop here to just keep the curves going. So it even smoothen out the whole thing, like it's just spearing into the floor. So I had a pretty open thing here. The track down, the transition to the actual floor. And this means I had to bound the outside on the left. So I placed the big panels and just close off the whole track. So I've already made that turn. So then all I had to do was close off the left side. The boundary for the left is made on these ones, the little staircases. You can use it for the cameramans in the track, so it's a nice adding. So what I did was I placed the green panels. It's a big one, so I just started with that. And then gave it a little extra border. So check the side of the staircase and then give it an extra border, because I knew I had to place a wall here to keep people from hitting the staircase, even if it's as wide as it is. So put that down. Then I had to link this panel all the way to this panel here, this turn, which are two props, yellow and green. So I use one, I only use two. So what I could have done, the big panel, just make one prop, but then I wouldn't have the yellow line. So I placed two big panels just to have that big yellow line here, which is an actual outside. If you come from here, you want to cut the next hairpin, that it's a big wide hairpin. So you go on the big yellow line to cut it as wide as possible. See? So it's actually functioning as a curb, but it's not a curb. So the wall transitions into the yellow line actually. And here you can just go over the line and say, get a little white, and then it goes back into yellow. And the middle off, covered by the upside down raised panels, like the yellow line here. Here's a curved part, just to follow the curve here. And because the star grid is actually not as wide as the actual landing strip here, so I had to signify by this green prop that it's narrowing, and then it lines up to the star grid, and let's go. So I just had to open, so these side props were not there. And instead of using a wall, like here you have the wall, the barrier on the racetrack prop, I just decided to let it open, which means the cars can come out here, go wide, go back on track. It gives actually a sensational feeling, and the track breathes more because it's so wide and open. I did this in two sides, which gives it a natural look. Finished it off with these green panels on the side. So just use the same angle. This is a 5-degree track up instead of down. This is a down. So if you turn it upside down, it's a up. This goes down 50%, 50 degree, 5 degree. Use the same prop here. I rotated the angle so it lines up on the side here. It's like a little overlapping. It just closes it off nicely. Which means if you come from the start, you see this nice green grass uphill as a border, extra border, double functionality. I love this bit. So to just finish it off, I had to, of course, do it on the other side, which I used 30 ERPs. The 30 gives it the instant bend downwards, which I needed not to interfere with this band here. So I did that 3 ways to just close that hill off. Place the extra bleachers here. Could have used the roof, but maybe can do that later. Maybe use this roof. Probably. Let's see. I just put this one because it was so bald looking. Guess no one's missing it. Oh, it's tripping out again. Oh, it sucks. So I'm gonna keep it in the colors. Like that. And what this does is, instead of the other roof is cool, but it's really directed to the facility and nobody actually sees it or pays attention to it. But the big bleachers, it catches the eye big time. So giving it a roof will add a lot more aesthetics to it. So the bleachers are just 2 props. You get the wall and the roof. It gives a lot of extra, like I say, aesthetics and finish. Now here's no roof. It's backed up with a wall on the back, so just to keep it variating. Bleachers there have a rounded roof. Keep it just variating like that. But because of the bleachers over there having a light green, I might use the light green too here. Just for the uniformity of it. I'm gonna have to raise it. And so you see, to change the color I went out of rotation mode, and then you can change the color. Not do anything else. Anything else you do will reprop, so go back to position as quick as possible without changing anything. Very important. Okay, I'll raise it. It's too big on the right side. I'll slide it in a bit more. We give it a more angle. Damn it. That's not that bad. A lot of shade now. Just show a bit of it there. Got a lot of shadow going still, some crowd in the sun. So now it locks it in the aerial view too. I can already see the roof here. Boom, otherwise it would have been a sky hitting the bleachers. Now you get that lock. Gigantic. They're bigger than raisin. I'll signify that. Got the little extra logo from Ray here. The tube part here, which forms a corridor from one building to another, acts also as a logo kind of thing, like a hat with a white ribbon. It's also to be seen in my blah rays of what's going on. Don't look into my eyes there. Ah, that's what it's called. So we got the name of the hotel chain here. Of course, this is just a Javelin. Everybody knows that. Totally hidden. Place the extra panel just to keep it in the same colors. Might change this to gray because it's white even. Just keep it to gray. A bit more neutral. I have the gray coming back around the buildings here. Like white is more luxury than gray. Here you got terraces and shit for outside dinner and see here I made an extra entrance just to reel it up a bit. Looks like a garage door. Maintenance vehicles can come in, or just catering or something. So okay, that's the track. Finish those panels. Place the white wall for the staircases. This is the prop I meant. I wanted to use for the entrance there. So the same ramp here. Because the roundness give it that extra softness. If you just place a wall 45 degrees like the piping here. If you hit the wall, you hit the wall, you just die. If you hit the corner, you hit the corner, you just die, you stand still. With the round shape, you hit it, you bounce in. You hit it here, you bounce in. So that's why it's a round piece. Get the open connection between the start line and this line. You can see the other cars driving, which keeps the track breathing. Don't want high buildings in between. You can do that. Okay, so checkpoints, I gotta check. You see, don't know when it is, but there's like a problem with the checkpoints. Doesn't do it right away, but I feel like placing stuff. Let's see if I pick something up. Nope, no problem. So sometimes it will say, give you an explanation for get the checkpoints. And then if you press checkpoints, it gives you the star grid. So in that case, don't place the star grid. Just don't go try to place it again or nothing. Just press B and it will flip in the original position that you place it in. I don't know, it's just since the update, say fix some things and then some things break. That's one of them. Quick run through the checkpoints here. I don't want to make here a checkpoint here and here because it's a big hairpin. People are not gonna cut the dirt. If you cut the dirt here, you're gonna totally not get this dirt. So good drivers. Take the big hairpin. So again, from this point of view, only see one checkpoint. see that 1 and 2 override each other. So as soon as you get here, the other pops away. So I have to keep it very wide too. Oh, I had to sneeze. I might even place this a bit wider. Just for in case people end up here. So again, these destructibles are to guard off the tunnel for the pedestrians. Let's take a checkpoint. Keep it pretty much to the outside here, so people are not gonna drive here. Instantly turn back. Get on the wide here to cut back in. Drive over the green curb space here. Onto the straight. Keep the checkpoint wide. I can cut the grass here. Still get the checkpoint if you cut here. And grass will slow you down. And the dirt will slow you down, so there's no use in cutting it. So people will just do it here. A little bum even here. So if they miss it on the outside, secondary here, very wide. Can scratch the tube here, still get it. Big crashes, crash here, still get the secondary. Inside, wrong. Next one, back to the apex. Cuttable again. You can cut it here, but the more you cut it, the higher the dirt is. You can do this, but you call it bounce and you will spin out. Proper cut, no problem. Somebody hit you. You spin out, you land up on the barrier. Just grind the barrier, get the secondary checkpoint. Go for a singular one here, because if you get it inside here, you will get it. If you can cut it here, you will get it. Maybe it should be even a bit more outside, but I just want that open space here. In the test you will see it, that you know you're gonna have to cut here. So I should place a checkpoint outside the green area, which makes you see the green area better. And you know you can cut it. The pole is extra. The safety is actually the dirt here. People might be able to get a checkpoint, hit the pole and then go. But the dirt is so high, the pole will stop you a bit. So it will be all slower as just taking it normally. So no use for a secondary checkpoint here. You can't go too wide. If you cut it, it's a track violation anyway. Next one here. So I placed that before the apex actually being here, middle of the turn. Placed it in front, just for giving extra space. People can cut it over the dirt. They will slow down a bit. The outsider will have advantage, get back on the inside. But also, it's really backwards. I'm just gonna move it up a bit. So again, trying to keep the green part open, the checkpoint barrier right on the line of the yellow thing. So people gonna even drive here in the checkpoint, so can even be placed a little bit more backwards. Because this is such an open area, I keep it back a bit. Just gonna line it up a bit more to the outside. You can see the white barrier of the checkpoint. It's lining up here. So if you grind the checkpoint, grind the apex, that's your ideal line. Got a pretty much big error room here, so right, move that even up a bit more. Cut it here. You can't catch that checkpoint because if people cut it here and you place a secondary checkpoint here, they can maybe win time, get it. So just also for visibility, people gonna come to the outside here. They see it's a left turn. From the outside here, they're lined up right behind each other. You just see one checkpoint. So if you're driving with focus a few laps, once you hit up to this checkpoint, it disappears. You won't even seen the secondary. Then we go to 7, same here. Keep it a bit backwards. Oh, you can cut it here. Still get the checkpoint, cut it here. There's no use in cutting, because you get a pretty fast corner here. And this is so wide here, so you're just gonna full throttle out of that turn. So what you want to do with full throttle is just accelerate all the way outside. So you're not gonna do that over dirt, because then your car has a risk of spinning out. So people will just drive over the green part here. Secondary checkpoint, very wide next to the wall here. Meaning if you drive here, you still get the first checkpoint here. So if people crash outside, miss the first checkpoint, they will always get a second. Open and wide, cut back in here, over the green. So try to overlap it a little bit with the yellow here. Because people, if they drive over the dirt a little bit, which will happen, because it's a high speed turn, once you're turning, you're not often gonna adjust by getting wider again. So if you do this, it'll keep going instead of correcting outside, because if you correct outwards, you're gonna spin your car again. What I mean is, like, if you know that you're overcutting it, you're not gonna do this to get back on the track, because it will make it more dangerous. You're just gonna continue to cut with just accepting the slowing down a bit. Try to do better next lap. So the actual ideal line is cutting it here, right on the green, keep the speed. You see it's cut in more here than it's here. The corner is sharper here. So they're not going to use this apex anyway. They're going to come from the outside, take it very wide, cut in. This is the apex here, right here, this corner here where it pops out. That's your apex. Secondary have to go very wide. Maybe a little bit wider. So if you drive here in the middle, you will still get the first one. Here you will still get it. So here you already get the secondary. Can maybe be placed a little bit more outside, but I'm just gonna keep it to be sure here. Can place this one a bit more backwards. Now I don't want to give it too much room, because again, if they cut it, they still have to get it around 2 wheels on the green part. Just trying to get it backwards one. If you come from here, see the 2 checkpoints. If I want to place them behind each other, like I earlier said, just to, like if you're here, you see that it's the 2 are not right on top of each other, but that's like the maximum I can go, because if I move the secondary checkpoint to here, which make the line, if you have outside here, this is the viewpoint, see the other checkpoint behind it. This room is a lot wider, so if I place it here, you can miss it in between and you can miss it there. So that's why I keep it as close to the apex line. Apex line is actually where your 90-degree angles up with the turn that's coming, with the turn that you came from, and the turn that's coming. So here we get a 180-degree turn, which means here is where your straight ends, where the turn begins. So normally it's in the middle of the 2, but because there's a bigger cut here, the apex lays sooner, which is actually here. So the line of the apex is right here. So this checkpoint is still close to that. Just because this is the shortest line of the whole thing, including the green outside, the track, the inside, and the actual dirt. Going to 9. Come outside here, cut in, place pretty far backwards because the apex is here again. Turn the corner at 2, that's your apex line here. So you can see the checkpoints in front of the apex. So especially so people won't miss it here. And also because this piece is a short distance, which means if you place the checkpoint later, the other one's gonna pop up later. So if I place it sooner, so the car comes in, gets the checkpoint, hits the apex, and then already the other checkpoint is already there. So if you hit the apex and the checkpoint is there in the apex, you have to wait a little bit for the other checkpoint to pop up. So if there's not a lot of distance and time here, it's better to place it earlier here. Secondary checkpoint very wide, almost to the wall. You hit the wall, you can still get it here. If you crash out here, again, if you cut it inside, you should not be able to get it here. No advantages for cutters. CP10, turn 10, again, bit in front of the apex here, just to get left and right covered. People exit and get clear road. Instantly see the other one. Secondary checkpoint next to the wall. If people end up here, scratch the wall, get the checkpoint. 11, very tiny thing here. There's not a lot of room because of the panel being so big and me not lining up the curve. But that's not bad because it can go for a small area here. A lot broadens up right away. It's a semi-looking hairpin, which is not one, so the angle is not 90 degrees, not 180. It's like in between a bit, 75 or something. So I made sure people cut it here. You can still get it. And the physics of the checkpoints, if they're still the same, is that if you come with your car, you come outside of the checkpoint here, because your car is doing this, so it's gonna turn, and you're turning that way. So your car, if you are in front of the checkpoint, your car is gonna make a turn towards the checkpoint, meaning the right side of your car is gonna drive towards the checkpoint. That means even if you don't hit the actual beam, the yellow circle beam of the checkpoint, even if you don't hit it, because your car is going towards it, the checkpoint you will get it, will activate. So this means you have a little extra room that people can cut the checkpoint. So if you don't take that into account, I'm not gonna do it now, but if you place your checkpoint like, if you place it like here, if you place it here, people will cut it here, just because it's possible. So you take this extra space and place it outwards, so people know they have to grind the checkpoint and the apex. Again, cutting may still be possible a little bit, but it gets dangerous with the dirt. If you miss the checkpoint and cut it with 4 wheels, you're too far. Because again, the apex, the actual apex, the apex is here. Signalization apex is the yellow turn here. The actual track apex, the real apex, is here, the physical apex, where the track goes up. Secondary checkpoint right behind the first one, come from the outside here. Same principle as the other one, semi-hairpin. Again, they go very wide here. They're not gonna cut the apex here, so this checkpoint is gonna be I'm just thinking to put a prop here which signifies that it's closing off, because you do have the impression that it's you don't get the impression that the turn ends. Because the corner is so open, your mind thinks that you have to drive all the way to the outside here. That's what I'm worried about. Just see what the test is. I already got the yellow line here, so I was even doubting where to place this checkpoint, because I think it may even be better if I place it here next to the pole. Then if you come outside, you have more time to see and judge the checkpoint here than here. Can check that in the test. And here's a very important one. So I didn't place, like what I could have done was place here a checkpoint, apex here, an apex there, an apex there, then it gets too much. So you're already coming in here high speed. Then if you reach this checkpoint and the other one pops up, you have to wait till the other one pops off to see this one. So what happens now, because I didn't put it there, is you can come here, hit this checkpoint, the other one will pop. You see that you have to make a left-hander kind of chicane move, like an S move to cut it back in here. So once you come out of this checkpoint, the other one will pop up, your eye will see this apex, the wall, then it will autocorrect to the yellow line, and it will say this is the track apex here, this is the signalization apex, that's your safety, and here's your actually end of the apex. And by then you will already be here, because first it will focus on this point too here. It's this point and this point, because the yellow corner here. So they will make an average, cut the yellow corner big time, hit the green apex prop here, and get back in. A lot of room for error here, so I think it will work out fine. So the checkpoint is actually placed a little bit backwards, so instead of in front of the apex, it's behind the apex a little bit. That's because if you cut into the turn, you're gonna point your car outwards to the checkpoint. So the chance of outwards going to the checkpoint is higher on this side than on this side. Because if you place it more here and you will go outside, you will just drive around the checkpoint, and the inward move to the outward move to the checkpoint isn't there if you place it in front here, because you're coming from around here. So if people just fly straight over, they just fly straight into it. If they cut it here big time, I'm just giving an example here because the ideal is not the ideal line. The ideal line goes here, here, and cut. But I'm just saying, if they cut it here, which will also happen, then instantly get a car 90 degrees. Cut it here. Extremely case. You see it doesn't hit the checkpoint. But again, because the checkpoint is placed behind the apex, so more to the outside, your car will move towards that checkpoint. So the car movement is going outwards towards the checkpoint, meaning you will always get it. Secondary checkpoint, a lot of room there. Place it at the actual border of the third here. I don't know if that's going to be used a lot, because again, if you come from here, see one checkpoint, the other one's behind it, can place it a bit. Can place it a bit more forward here, but just want to keep it. Again, the apex line of this turn here is right here. Maybe even the curve a little bit. Yeah, that's the apex line, the curve line. Apex, middle of the turn. So behind the apex, and this one, we say it again, parallel wise, symmetrical wise, you can place it here. Didn't do that because I want them to look like they're one checkpoint. So you come here, see one yellow dot, can move it over here, which it will just overlap it perfectly, but then I want to keep it close to this apex line too. So the 45 degree would be maybe perfect, but I'll just keep it in between the 45, which is half here. Keep it in the half here, let's 70, 75 here. Go into turn 14. Again, I explained the cutting of this turn. So I don't want to place a checkpoint too early like here, which will still be possible. You come outside, you cut it. But I placed it close to the wall here, so I don't need a secondary outside. And because I placed it, again, you see the corner is actually, this is the corner. That's the corner. You can see the V shape by the dotted line and the yellow line here. So your actual cut of the corner, your apex line is in the middle of the corner here. And that's what this prop signifies. So again, this is where the actual apex is, the signage where your apex is. This is where the actual natural apex is. That's a safety barrier, a safety zone. So in worst case scenario, people cut it here. They'll still get the checkpoint because they come, their car moves outwards to the checkpoint. That's why they place it behind the apex. So come out here, put in big. It looks like it's missable, but your ass will move towards the checkpoint, which means you will get it. Again, I have to test it to if it's exactly correct like that. Try to drive next to the wall, try to miss it, or I can just get a little extra more here. Now again, don't want it to place here, because then everybody just drives here. So that's why I placed it a little bit backwards. So that's too much. So you can still see the gap, the actual gap here. Safety here, no problem, no worry. Risk here. So that's the grind between the apex and the checkpoint, which you're not supposed to take, but many will do. Checkpoint 15 again, a chicane here. We should have gone for one right and one straight, one left. That's a chicane. But seeing you can't cut it here, so you can't go straight or nothing. It's a pretty open chicane, so it's not that people have to brake and drive right and left here. So they're just gonna come here, grind the wall, full speed, just go straight through it. There's a little margin here, you can go outside, no problem. So it's not meant as a brake or chicane, it's just meant as a little in between where cars have to watch their overtaking. You can still be with two cars next to each other full speed and go through it, no problem, if the right one keeps on his lane and the left one keeps on his lane. So one checkpoint will do here, and it's easier for the eye and easier for the driver. Because if you place two of them, they have to wait till the first one here, till they reach the first one for the second one to pop up. And the first one will block your view of the outside prop. So when you get the one here, people will come, they will see the checkpoint already from far here, They will know what the turn is. Your brain sees the outside prop. You will notice the little pole there, the yellow border. And by the time they're here, they know exactly which line they can take. Just to cut here and between the pole and the checkpoint. See, that's the little error here. If you're coming here, again, your car is not moving this way. Your car is moving, coming from here, and then turning left, which means the back of the car is moving outside again. So you're moving towards the checkpoint. So you can even cut the pull off, and you will still get the checkpoint if it all goes good. Big wide turn here. Try to get close to the apex with the checkpoint. Marking, like you can still get a wheel off the side and maybe get it. But it's not advised, because especially with the high tracks, getting off the road is getting a disadvantage. The other checkpoint right behind it, just making one checkpoint. There's not a lot of discussion here. You can just maybe even put a bit further in. Hit the side. You can just grind the wall. Lines up nicely. Just grind it, get the checkpoint. 17, very wide. Get it on the apex. It's a bit close maybe. This one very wide. I place it a lot later here. Keep it in one line. Might even put out that. So what you want is that you don't want people to be cutting here, still get the checkpoint and get an advantage. So that's important. So you can't go put a secondary here or something. In this case, it wouldn't be such a big problem because it's a bank turn. So what you also don't want is that people go outside here, drive in between and miss them both. But that's not going to happen, because you can see here you're still hitting the right one, right one, right one with the right car, and then it goes to the left here. Because, like I said, if your car is moving towards the checkpoint, you're going to hit it. But if you drive around the checkpoint and your car is not moving towards it, because if you drive around the checkpoint like here and your car does this, your car moves away from the checkpoint, which means you're not going to hit it. That won't be a problem here. Turn 18, same principle, just going down again. See, you can still get a wheel off the track here, still get it. This is wrong though. Might still get it here, but the disadvantage of the bumps getting off and on is high enough to just keep the checkpoint close to the apex. Then I leave the whole street open, like try not to place checkpoints on the straight, that sucks. So I could have placed one here, just to signify, like people, you gotta go in between the barriers. But the street already does that, so if you don't see it, you're fucking an idiot. So what your eye is gonna catch is the long straight, and then it will see the light in the end here. It's placed a bit behind the apex. I might just move it up a bit more, just so it jumps in the eye a bit quicker. I don't care about how it's gonna look on the little map, because I see a lot of people like putting checkpoints in every little curve. Like if it's here, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it shows nice curvy lines on your little map, but the drivers has to go through an epileptic attack just to drive through them. So here you come out of the turn, checkpoint is gone, the other one pops up, you see it's a long way, just a straight. You can focus on this point for a long while. Again, place it a little bit more outside than inside, because if you come with your car here, on the inside your car is moving towards the checkpoint, on the outside is going away from it, so you really want, if you hit the if you grind the guardrail, you really want them to get the checkpoint. So I can even place it a little bit more outside, and this should be good. So again, I'm not placing 2 or 3 checkpoints in one turn. Just one checkpoint in the apex. Your brain already knows what's going on. This checkpoint is gone. You come to the next. I don't need a secondary because of the barriers here. You see the secondary here. I contradict myself a bit because I placed a checkpoint in the straight. I'm not sure how that's gonna turn out, but because it's such a long straight, it's even a bit longer than the actual starting grid. Can you come out here and you see the track? Now this, you can see the wall, you can see the round thing here. You can see it's a straight. But if this checkpoint isn't here, the first checkpoint you're gonna see is this one. So that's hidden behind the raised dirt here and all the signs and the whole straight actually. So to avoid having to place checkpoint here and here and here, so you get 2 checkpoints that give you the hairpin turn here. I'd like to avoid that and keep it 2 apexes, 1 apex checkpoint. So to not get that override line, which you see the actual blue line of the checkpoint here, that will go straight over the dirt pieces towards this one. So just to avoid that, I placed this checkpoint, which will catch your eye when you come out of the fast turn here. So you come out here, you see the big checkpoint, and the wall catches your eye. You know that you have to go straight here, and by then you would have seen the bleachers and the ammunition signs and all that. And you hit this checkpoint, and you can come to the outside yellow line. And then you can see that it goes wider. You can go wider and wider just to turn in for this apex. Again, now when I erase this one and I put it here, you're gonna reach this one, it pops off, and then you see that it's actually a hairpin, while it looks like it's a rectangular corner, which it actually isn't, because you're going wide. Take the hairpin. It's a fast hairpin. I like the 1 checkpoint more here. And then it's race finished. Okay, so I just need to do the test now. I'll do 2 laps. In the primary, I'll do the secondary off video because it sucks to do that. Here we go. An apex cut. Little dirt bomb there. That may be wide. Here. Could you use the dynamic here? Just that little thing popping up. Because the dirt has no color, and if the light changes, then check where I can erase a dynamic prop. We got a ball there. There's my map. Got the ammunition signs there. Ammunition signs. What's that? Ammunition sign. I don't know if I want to erase that because it looks a little bald. If I leave it, it will close off the border here. Like the border, this is like a terrace, and this sign says like the terrace stops here, so this is actually not that. It's more the back side of the building. What do we got outside? Ammunition signs here. I need some visuals there. Ammunition sign here. I need that. The pole is extra. I actually don't need this one here. Because you got the white wall, you got the yellow part, so it's the extra safety zone here. I'm gonna use the pole and the hairpin here. And there's one too, I see. Keep the same concept there. Also signifies where you actually extend the curb, like so. This is the actual signage curb. Your curb ends here, so the natural heightening of the dirt starts here. But because the checkpoint is so close, you can even cut it over the dirt with one. At least with one wheel, so like that. And the pole signifies the limit, the actual limit. So if you cut it right next to the pole, you still should be able to get it. That's the intention. Okay, do the test again. So it's always take a lot into account. Got it. Yes, got it. Take a lot into account, but always when it's racing, it will always turn out differently. People will just go over the limits, which is so much is good. But that will push you to just force you to make changes even after you did such a big investigation or research so it's only a high-speed competition and high-speed battle that you're gonna find out what's good and what's not good and what should be changed. So sometimes I don't have to change anything. Most of the time I have to just check on the purpose. So it's very smooth. That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about. If it happens in the test, it will happen a lot of times in the race. That means I need to steal a prop somewhere. I already stole a lot here. I got this extra hanger kind of entrance here. Looks awesome. Don't want to erase that. Can place a rectangular roof here, but I like the switch up with the roof. Need that barrier. Probably can just steal like a yellow line. Cause I didn't make him all the way through. Like for example, this one. Although it lines up with the white line, see. That's not too bad. Curbs maybe somewhere. Like this. Oh no, that's the whole line. There's no barrier outside here, but you get the yellow line, the green line, and then you get this barrier, so that's good. Guess I can delete one of those. Maybe this. That's missable. So we gonna go to the ramps. Get the big one. Not the biggest. Smooth one on the outsides. No, it's this one. So you get the big one with the pipes, and the small one with the pipes. Need the small one, just like in the other turn there. Do a quick manual, quick rotation with the arrows, and I don't have to do it manually as much. Go finish it off 270 on 180. That's good. Just drop it down. It's gonna protect the building and it's gonna make sure that people don't get stuck there. May even place it a bit higher, because if I do it like this, it also looks cool. Here, and line it up with the actual barrier there. Could rotate it so nothing can stick out, because then you will get stuck there. I could rotate it so it lines up with the panel. What am I gonna do? What is this? Oh, that's a part of a satellite dish, I think. Yes. I think I'm gonna raise it. I'm just gonna raise it. Because it's a pretty important prop. So the building stays protected. It doesn't matter if the piping, it looks like it's real on the roof and also like it protects the antennas and shit. But what it also does is it gets high visibility if you come from here. So you're gonna turn in and the white wall will pop up like light. So I'm just gonna keep it straight. There's a little chance that you can get stuck in that corner. I have to see how that works. Oof. Think it will be a problem. Curves are pretty high now here. It's really gradual, so even if you try, you can get stuck. So that's good news. And the Wagner was a pretty low car. This is pretty worrying. Wow. Should be fine. Again, last test. The advantage is, if you make it, that you know all the theory in advance. Makes it easier for the brain to figure out the whole racing line. But again, if you drive it with others, it's a whole different story. Very wide here. Good visibility to cut in the next. Ooh, that's great. See the wide wall is just freshening it up. Now you got the green size and the white wall just give it that variety. See the curves are doable. No need for any risk there. Just a simple plan. Same bow there, but there's less chances you're gonna drive from the side. So yeah, do get a little dirt. Still got first time I had a speed. Ooh, and then you missed the second one. Important just in the line there, like. I have a lot of tracks here on the airport because it's so nice. It's a nice area to make things, a lot of room, a lot of natural corners. What it does make is that the tracks are gonna look the same because it's all in the same place. Avoid that by doing your props in that way that it's a completely different track and that people just remember it as a different track. It's funny because I got still to I got the ERC 6 is also made in the same colors. It's just such a different vibe on that track. It's just such a different track. With different characteristics that you can just, even if you did like 2 turns of the track, you can say, oh no, this is that one, or this is that one. So like the last thing we did there with the bank turn, that's very simple, but it also gives you part of the characteristic. And that's why the walls and the buildings are so important to give it that little bit more. That's all, folks. Expect this track pretty soon.